station.
It's now time for Inside Sports Talk Radio with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baisden. Brought to you by the Luminous Group of Companies, Colonial Group International, Global Atlantic Financial Group, Game Time, and Fit for Life with Dave Wolf. Now let's go live with Ian Rollins and Earl Baisden.
And good afternoon and welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday. It is February 12th, 2018. I'm Ian Rollins with colleague Earl Baisden and Don Bassett at the controls. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rollins. How are you?
Good day, sir. Good day.
Ian.
Ian.
And no, sir.
All right.
Don Bassett, Ian,
Good
right?
afternoon,
Good day,
Ian.
Ian. Hey, Ian.
Good afternoon,
That's
Ian.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All is good. All is good, gentlemen. All is good. Just want to give our listening audience a rundown of guests who are going to have us, who's going to join us in studio. We're going to have Andre Documentus, former cup match captain for the Somerset Cricket Club and former national team player in cricket. He will be joining us in studio. As you know, he's the father of Trey Mendes, and it comes from a stock well suited for sports in Bermuda, the Mendes family, the brother to Anthony Mendes and of course Arnold Mendes. So he's going to give us some things and insight on what he's been doing in the last year or so with cricket, and of course his son is one of the most prolific early order batsmen, so it's running in the family. He'll be joining us in studio. Kamal Albins of the Bermuda Netball Association, the new president, she will be joining us. They've got some upcoming international tours later this summer, and they're going to share what's on the agenda for the youth program as well as national program. And of course we have Kenny Thompson, KTAC, who will be joining us in the studio at around 1:15. And also we have some youth boxers. Forgive me, Earl, for not telling you earlier. They'll be joining us in the studio on their performance in boxing. The president,
Nathan.
Nathan, thank you. Blank. He'll be bringing some youth boxers, joining us in the studio. With that said, great weekend for me, 48 hours. I've recovered fully. I didn't train at all last week, so I feel great. My health is better now.
Okay.
The cold came back a bit and set in my chest, but I settled all of last week. And this morning, Dave Wolf, he took care of me. Right? I'm like, whoa, this is like starting all over again.
Forgot what it was like, innit?
Yeah, I did, I'll be honest. But I needed that. It's going to take about 2 weeks, I'll be honest, 2 or 3 weeks. I'll say 3 weeks to get really back into a rhythm of running.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the conditioning that he puts out to be on that pace.
Right.
It's going to take about 3 weeks.
Right.
So,
so let me ask you this question.
Sure.
When one is down and out, and most people don't want to lose as much, what are some of the things that you can do in the interim that could keep you somewhat, while you recover, somewhat in shape?
It depends on the severity of the cold.
Right.
In my case, I couldn't do anything. Mine was chest.
Oh, okay.
And so
okay.
if I ran,
breathing was going to be a problem.
It was going to be a problem. So I just had to fight it, deal with it, make sure the cold was out of my system. Excuse me, and resume from there. So that's basically it. But it depends on severity again of the cold that you have.
Right.
In my case, I couldn't do any cardio. You lose some strength. I was lifting some weights this morning. I was like, ooh, this is heavy. But again, it's going to take about 3 weeks to get it all back into a rhythm.
Right.
And get it going. So main thing, I was just trying to eat right, eat clean for a while. But that didn't help on the weekends, right? So, but I'm back.
Okay.
I just want to shout out to all the Man United fans, especially Mr. Sean Thompson. As you know, he works in TV control. And he was around the office last week saying that Man United's this, Man United's that, they're not going to do so forth. So my records show that it was Newcastle on Man United nil.
I'm pretty sure that's everyone's record. That's what it says.
Right, but I just want to refresh his memory. Yes. Yeah. So that was funny. That was funny. He likes to chant it. As Gary Marino said, Ian, your team won, my team won. Sean, did your team win? And Sean gives the history of how many cups he's won. This and that. So you know what? That's cool. I have no problem with that.
Sometimes that's all you got to live for.
Yeah. Well, we'll see him on March 10th. Interesting enough, a gentleman stopped me this morning in town. He said, who's the #1 striker? And I was like, well, that's a good question. So I said, are you talking about in England football, or are you talking about in just overall? He said, worldwide. So I said, okay. Suarez, of course, he's a Liverpool man. I would say he was one of the probably the best striker right now in my terms of striker. So he said everyone thinks it's Harry Kane of Tottenham.
Well,
What do you think?
He's on fire right now.
He's on fire, but do you think he's the best in the world?
It's very hard to judge that because everybody plays in different leagues.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
You know, everybody's got the earn. I'm pretty sure every Tottenham supporter will say yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
But then you argue with Barcelona supporters, and you argue with Real Madrid supporters, and you argue with Manchester United supporters because everyone in their team has someone who's banging in girls.
That's true.
So, I mean, everybody's views differently.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, he's one of the hottest strikers going.
Harry Kane.
Yeah.
All right. Where would you put him in the top 6
In what?
in the world? Sorry.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't because, as I just said, it's very hard to say who's the best striker because guys are playing in different leagues. You look at it in Spain,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Teams don't defend high.
No,
The
they
minute
don't
they
press
lose the
hard.
ball, everybody drops behind the ball.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a different style.
Yeah.
Okay. In England, it's a little different. In Holland, it's a little different. So everybody's got a little different. So it's very hard to say how that person who's only played in one league will adjust to another league. You know what I mean? Like, okay, would Messi be as successful in England as he is in Barcelona?
And then there comes the surrounding of players.
Yeah.
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 Good point. But then he plays really attacking midfield.
Right.
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 But I'm talking about the out-and-out striker. So interesting. Good
Yeah.
points. Good points.
Yeah.
Good points.
That argument of who's the best, you can't really have. Who's the hottest? That's what the one you can have. Over the last 3 months, he scored the most goals.
Yes.
In
all
in all
competitions.
competitions.
In all competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's you have to look at it that way. Is he the best? I don't know.
Right.
Because he's only been in one environment.
Well, if Real Madrid buys him this summer, we'll find out.
Because who was the last Tottenham player they brought? Bale, right?
Yeah.
And
But
when Bale went,
he's a winger.
well, right, but when Bale went, he was the hottest thing at the time.
Correct.
Because he was scoring a lot of goals.
Right.
But he goes into a different system,
Mhm.
and he struggles in that environment because they don't play as direct as he was used to.
That and his injuries.
Right.
Of injuries.
Right.
He's
So,
sustained over time.
A lot of stuff changes over a course of period of time that would restrict him from being the player he was over in England.
Good point.
So,
Okay. I also let our listeners know that we will have our trivia question in about 1:45. It's a good question because it deals with the upcoming Commonwealth Games, which is in April, correct?
mm-hmm.
Right. So that question will revolve around the Commonwealth Games. So we will have that. Just want to let our listeners know that Andre Doc Mendes has joined us in studio, so we're going to take our first commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have Andre Doc Mendes. If you have any questions for him, you can give him a call at 292-9595. We take our first commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio has been presented to you by Lindo's Dress Company.
Oh, it's good?
International.
Hey, what's it?
Cleveland Atlantic
Oh, it's cool.
Oh, he's cool? Oh, okay. Either one.
Either
Either
camera,
I guess.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want to move yours. You're back over.
Players.
I just moved it so I can
Oh,
see.
okay.
Game time.
Cool.
Find
That
the
makes
dependable sports betting on
Gotta get used to this
NFL,
camera.
NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, golfers, English Premier League,
What's happening,
and
brother?
more.
Everything's
Repeat
all right.
promotions, instant win games. Be a lucky loser with our weekly draw. Become a Game Time player. Call into one of our 3
Remember I saw you
locations
just
in
get to
Somerset,
the
Town,
That
or
was
St.
my
George's. For more
second
details, visit
Oh.
gametime.pm or call 296-322.
I
Game
see.
Time.
That's somebody
We
I
play,
see.
we pay. Game Time is a socially responsible
I've been
gaming
back 2
service.
years.
Oh, okay.
From happy beginnings to happy
Just
ever
trying to get me
after.
back.
Colonial protects your
6 months
lifestyle
ago.
with the best insurance cover at the
I was
best
off
possible
2 months
price.
days during the
Health
summer.
insurance
Right.
far-reaching benefits.
Cricket one.
60% of claims settled automatically.
And I couldn't.
Low-cost life insurance.
I do it for a lot of
Individual
them.
health
I run a
cover.
call on
Security
Christmas.
in retirement.
With a custodian
Yes,
pension
the man,
fund.
right?
Yeah, no,
Happy
the dad is
beginnings
looking
and a
for
happy
more money
ever
so they
after.
keep letting me
Visit
talk to my job, family.
cgigroup.com or call
Right.
296-3700.
Colonial. Where people
Yeah, when they're 5.
No,
It's almost time for the
Did you
Lindos
sound like
Lindos
a
Walk and
black
Run to
dude?
support the war on
Did you see
diabetes
that?
on
Okay,
Sunday
okay,
the 4th of
gotcha,
March.
gotcha.
Diabetes greatly affects an increasing number of Bermudians, and when it gets personal, it's time for us to get moving against this epidemic. You'll find the details such as entry forms, registration fees, and deadlines by visiting lindos.bm or racedatworld.com. We look forward to seeing you all come out to support the Bermuda Diabetes Association, joining the many sponsors as we double down on diabetes in Bermuda. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
The Bermuda Football Coaches Association is dedicated to increasing the competitiveness of Bermuda football through the use of highly qualified coaches. To Join the BFCA at Pier 6 Complex on March 2nd for a speakers night with Gerard Houllier.
Hello Bermuda, this is Gerard Houllier. Join me at Pier 6 for a 5:30 p.m. kickoff.
Tickets are $75. Help Bermuda coaches become qualified at the highest level. Sponsored by Sampo International, Stoli Vodka, and Sel Catlin.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back. As we said, we have Andre Doc Mendes, one of Bermuda's finest players in his time when he was playing for Bermuda's national cricket team and former cup match player for Somerset and captain. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Ian and Earl.
How you doing, mate?
Sir.
Nice to be here.
Good. You've been amongst the missing for about a year. We understand, obviously living overseas and taking care of family business overseas, but you're back and forth. What's it been like for you? Because you come from a family in sports, but been able to follow the cricket, Bermuda style cricket, and with your son playing. What's it been like for you to follow that?
I've been following it, the local side and his progress in the UK too.
Right.
When we first went over there 2 years ago, he was doing really well over there. He was playing in one of the top divisions in Hampshire.
Okay.
Because we're in Hampshire. David Moore, one of the coaches.
Right.
And I decided to go to the UK. I asked him some questions about leagues over there, and he told me that Hampshire, in the Hampshire area, was good quality cricket played over there in the league. So I took Trey over there, my wife and family.
Right.
He adapted to it really well in the first 2 years. He played in the County 1, just below County Cricket.
Oh wow!
Just below that, and he's actually playing against a lot of the Hampshire Academy players.
Okay.
And the team that he was playing for, Salisbury, they was in the Premier Division, so he got a chance to play against some of those Hampshire Academy players in the first 2 years. And then, after that, he's involved coming back to Bermuda, playing for the national team. But he was doing really well out there. Like the Hampshire team that he's playing for, Salisbury, was always emailing me when he's coming back. He scored a few centuries for him over there early in the season. This cricket out there starts April, May, being on south.
Right.
The wickets are a lot better than up in north.
Okay.
And the leagues are a little earlier.
Okay.
Whereas in north, the cricket starts later part.
Is that because of weather conditions?
The weather conditions.
Right.
South's a lot warmer.
Okay.
And the wickets are a lot harder. So you could start cricket in April.
Oh wow.
So, the beginning of April, even though it's cold, you got your sweaters on and stuff. So he was starting pretty early.
Right.
I'm out there. And like I said, he was doing really well. He played for the second 11 first. And then we had an issue with him representing Bermuda. And over there each club has an overseas player.
Okay.
But that overseas player also has to coach. And they have a lot of Australians and New Zealanders that play in that league. And the prime goal was to come over there to help the youngsters.
Right.
They coach when I'm not playing. So Trey was getting some good coaching from some of those overseas coaches too. But and that strengthens the league because the team that he played for before he came, they had a player from Australia that was playing for him. And one of the teams that I was playing for, later on was like 2020. He played a couple of New Zealand players, and of course, a player from Hong Kong.
Wow, Hong Kong.
One of the ICC associates.
Right.
They used to send players over there.
Right.
That's
to
good.
play in the leagues.
Right.
And the guy now is actually captain for Hong Kong.
Nice.
I can't remember his name, but he was a very good player. He ended up playing against Trey too. Remember Trey because Trey played against Hong Kong.
Right.
So I remember I was watching the game and they played against his team, played Trey's team.
Right.
And I said, I'm seeing this
before.
So I asked one of the coaches said, oh yeah, he's one of the guys that joined us from Hong Kong.
Okay.
He came over to help. So that's why that cricket is improving. They
they're sending their players over.
Right. During wasn't that season.
Right.
So they go over and play. I think he was playing for 6 weeks over there because they all have to go back to play for that cup.
Right.
When I was there, he played for the first 4 or 5 weeks, and he had got, because he was playing for my team, he had got our team into the semi-finals.
Wow.
And then he had to leave. So there was an issue. They wanted to keep him, but he had to go back to Hong Kong because they had matches coming up.
Well, fair enough.
And then soon after that, Trey had to leave because he had to go back to play for Bermuda.
Right.
So the object is, I was trying to say he can't play a full season over because
international matches here.
Yeah, international matches, and then they'd come back for cup match.
Right.
I noticed his first 2 years coming back, he was difficult adjusting to the wickets because up there the wickets are like the bonds.
Right.
You could play off the back foot, and so I used to say, no, I think you might have to come back with early for a cup match because his first 2 weeks he used to struggle coming back.
Really?
Yeah, because of the
conditions again.
Conditions.
Yeah.
His first time coming back, he played county for Bay, and was out for 1 because he expected the ball to come a little quicker.
Yeah.
And was top edged it straight out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a big adjustment coming, playing off wickets. You could go back, off the back foot.
Right.
You could play your shot. I remember when David Hemp came back, his first time came back when he played for Bermuda, and I was watching him. I was like, I didn't see,
a professional. Yeah.
Right. Then after maybe about 3 games, and he got used to, and I said, oh yes, it's definitely. But you could see it on the field. His enthusiasm on the field. He's diving and sliding. That's what they do over in England. But after, like I said, after 3 or 4 games, you could see that it takes a little adjustment. Even when Kamal comes back, I spoke to him. He said the same thing.
Right.
They have to adjust to the wickets.
So basically, players who are overseas, yes, they adjust to the conditions overseas, but then when they come back home, they need to adjust there as well.
Yeah.
They need more time instead of just coming for a week. They may need 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, that's what I had on the last couple of years of training. Said, you need to come back maybe a little earlier.
Right.
But then it hinders the team that is playing for in England because they need them too.
Right.
They said, oh man, Trey has to go back. I said, well, he's got some international matches coming up and he needs to go back to train. And then, of course, the cup match and the Eastern Contests.
Right.
Sometimes when he was playing for Bay, they used to make sure that he was back there, bring him back early. But so it's a
twofold.
It's kind of difficult. I just like him out there for the first at least 5 to 6 weeks.
Right.
It's got top class bowlers, the ball swinging around, so you have to really concentrate. And and like I said, the wickets are really, really good. Bigger fields.
Right.
So and it's getting good coaching from some of the ex-players. There's a lot of ex-players that play in the Hampshire League.
Wow. So it's basically what you're telling us. It's definitely benefiting him.
Oh yeah.
In his way for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Can you see other Bermudians taking advantage of what you've done for your son Trey?
Well, I'm seeing there's quite a few other Bermudians that are out there playing, in the leagues. You got the Bascom brothers playing in the Birmingham League, and of course you got Cleon Scotland's. I think Cleon done the best thing because he could took him out there early.
He did.
He's adapting really good. He's a lot younger when he ran out there than Trey, and even Delray was a lot younger. So right now, that in the academies are coming up, so it's
through
a
the
lot
ranks.
easier, right through the ranks.
Yeah.
But is it a challenge because their season is our season, same time, whereas the Hong Kong, they're out of season, so he can spend more time?
That's the problem right there. And not only that, even with the Australian players coming and the New Zealanders that come out of season.
They're out of season,
so they're coming, to play some cricket.
And they can stay that.
They can stay that long.
We see what Dowray is doing. It's out of season in England, so he's been over in Australia.
Australian playing, right.
He'll be over there for 6 months, and then he gets right back in. So it's cricket 12 months out of the year as opposed to 6 or 7 or 8 months, and then you got all that time off. And that's our problem here, is that where we can go to play cricket, they're playing at the same time we are, with the exception of the West Indies, because they're playing now. But I guess finances and the way they structure their league play is making it difficult for us to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's benefiting a lot of the ICC associate teams now, because it's not only players from Hong Kong. You know, it's got players from Scotland, Holland, Guernsey. That they're going to probably be playing in Division 3.
Yes.
They have at least 2 or 3 players that are playing in the leagues over there.
They even got Papua New Guinea over there playing. Yes. They have quite a few. Yeah.
Papua New Guinea, a lot of times go to Australia.
Right.
I mean, it's good, but they have an Australian coach.
Yes.
You know? And then Fiji.
Right.
They go over to India.
Right.
To play. So they're improving all the time.
Right.
Where Bermuda is so isolated. Like, you know, the closest, I would say the cheapest probably go to the Caribbean.
Right. Right.
But even still, you know, it's the money and it's cost. It's but you know, it's. I just see. I think that a lot of our young players that are involved with cricket now that are playing over there are getting good coaching, and they're playing on good wickets. You know, and that's the thing. You know, you want to be playing on big fields. You know, I remember Trey's first game and we played at Sarsbury. I was like, oh, he's gonna have trouble hitting this ball inside. But he was hitting the ball clean and sweet because the ball was coming off.
Right.
Big six, and then like, I was sitting there watching me and my wife, and then you got people, spectators walking around, saying, oh, "That's your son?" I said, "Yeah, that's my son." So they said, "Where's he from?" And we tell them he's from Bermuda. You know, they're like, "Oh, Bermuda." The first person they said thing was Dwayne Loverock.
Right.
That's that great catch, you know.
Right.
So I said, "Yeah, it's his cousin of Dwayne Loverock." And it's like, "Oh, okay." Now they tell them about Kamal playing out there. But yeah, so they know Bermuda, and at that time Bermuda had was in the World Cup. There was an issue with Trey playing 1 or 2 games from Bermuda, so he is counted as an overseas player.
Right.
Okay.
So I had to tell myself, look, he's playing for the under-19 development team too.
Right.
But he also had played for Bermuda.
Right.
But they said, well, Bermuda was in the World Cup. But I said, yeah, but Bermuda's also not a test nation. That's the ICC.
That's right.
So it was a conflict. So I had to email the cricket board. I remember emailing Neil to trying to get a result because they wanted him to play for the top team.
Right.
You know. So his first 2 years he couldn't, and he was playing for the top team in the beginning.
Right.
But then when they found out he's an international player, somebody mentioned from the other team because he made 100 or something in one of the games. So, and I had told him that, you know, he played for Bermuda and there was an issue. So they had this emergency meeting with the umpire. So and they came to the conclusion that if he plays 1 more game, they're gonna take the points from Sarsbury. So he couldn't play in the first team anymore.
Wow.
So I had to make some arrangements with Neil. I sent Neil email, and I think it's kind of been resolved. Then again, he was training doctor for a year, and it states you have to be there close to 2 years.
Right.
So now he has no problem being in the first team.
Right.
He does play first team cricket for him now.
Right.
But still, it's just that now he has to still come back early.
Right.
It's just unfortunate, like you said, that our season coincides.
But could you see him staying there for an entire season just to get that full length of what is available for him out there?
I would love him to do that, Earl, but you know, I talked to him. Soon the cup match comes around, he gets calls. Ethan Connors comes around, and
take his phone from him.
Well, you know why Earl's saying this, right?
But to be honest, on a serious note, I would rather him do a year while he's this age,
so he could be developed.
Right, and then he could bring that knowledge back in 2 years' time, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm going to stop in midstream, and then you come back and you're playing on different surfaces, and then you have to readjust when you get back out there.
And a prime example is Kamal. He stayed. You know, you mean missed some cup matches. The first time he came back was
last year. Last year, about 3 years, I think it was.
He played. He continued playing because he was playing second 11 for one of the 20 teams. So you know, he was. You know, he said, "Well, I'm not gonna say." He stayed out there and played for the last couple of years.
And you can see the development that he had. When he comes back, he's a totally different player than the caliber in which we have.
And that's true, because I went to see some of his matches when he played in Hampshire. He's playing. The school team was playing against one of the colleges in Hampshire.
Right.
So I was following him. I was going to go to the game, and you could see the difference in him. You know. Everything was done on a professional level, you know. When they warm up, warm down, you know, and his bowling, his run up, and his batting technique, everything. I said, oh, I knew Kopnetch that when he came back, I maybe think he was going to struggle a bit.
Right.
Because the big
Yes.
was.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, I don't know how much once you got. He got about 20 something.
25, 26,
But-
something like that. But hand-eye coordination for him,
Yeah.
it becomes easy.
Natural.
I mean,
Becomes
I think
natural.
his best inning was, until he got cramped, was the Coney Cup inning. Where
Yeah.
he was batting well, but it's emotion, it's all that, coming over, and unfortunately he got cramped, because when he got cramped, the game changed again.
Yeah.
Bayless Bay were really concerned for a period of time, but
And as mentioned, there's guys, Kamal was going to be a big flat team.
Right.
Because I'm seeing him play.
Right.
And I knew, even though Keo Bassam, I'm
Right.
seeing him play in the Birmingham League,
Mhm.
because they have a game that goes on. Bermuda
Mhm.
plays Jamaica.
Right.
Oh,
And
nice.
Herbie kind of sets it up. And
Right.
And they it's in May.
Right.
You got Stephen Kelly coming.
Yes.
Trade players from,
Right.
Kamal players from, they all coming on.
Right.
And then you got a lot of people from the UK that come
Yeah,
to watch.
I've seen
You heard
some of
about
the,
it?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a competition, and then Jamaica has some shield players
Right.
that they
Right.
can play in the Premier League, so
Yeah.
they call them.
Right.
And I went to watch that game, and I saw Akira playing. And this is the first time I've seen him, because
Mhm.
there's been a lot of time playing in England,
Right.
Right.
and I heard so much about him. So I was watching him, I was like, this boy hits the ball clean
Mhm.
and hard.
Right.
I mean, he was taking on Jamaica's fast bowler. One of the Jamaican guys played shield cricket
Right.
for Jamaica,
Right.
Mm.
but he was just playing, and he was taking him on. He was hitting clean outside the ball. Him
Mm.
and Bermuda ended up losing the game maybe about 20 runs, but it was a good game.
Mm.
They could Jamaica, a very good game, and Kamal made runs.
Right.
I don't know how much Trey got. I think Trey got a few, but it was a very good game, and
Right.
played at a nice competitive
Yeah,
level.
yeah,
You know, had
yeah.
the Jamaicans on one
Yes,
side,
yeah.
got the Bermudians.
You
So
see,
the other
the
side.
flags, you see
It was-
everything. Yeah.
It was almost like cup match.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I was impressed with the Hill set up the big field,
Mhm.
nice wicket.
Right.
Like I said, Stephen came down.
Right.
Stephen built really well too, and batted well
Mm.
too.
With all this information you got here, right, and it seems that Bermuda's heading in the right direction with the players being overseas and taking opportunities like this, can you see the Bermuda Cricket Board piggybacking on you guys, saying, look, can you open up other avenues, or who can we tap into to give our younger players an opportunity like this?
Yeah, and that was one of my goals. I haven't spoken to Neil yet. Like I said, that match there, I'm sure it's other Bermudians that was there. Like they had a couple of college players that came to play. I forget the names. They played for under 19s
Right.
and under 17s.
Yeah.
And they came. But like I said, if you're going to get better, if you want to compete in the Division 2 and Division 3, you need more players playing overseas.
Mhm.
Right.
And like I said, it doesn't even have to be the UK.
No.
It
Right.
could be Australia,
Right.
and it could be anywhere. I know any problem we have is it's the cost. But I'm saying the UK because there's a lot of contact out there. And
Mhm.
I'm in Hampshire now, and I got a lot of contact in Hampshire at the ages, like because I played for Hampshire as over 50s.
Right.
So I could get the training facilities every time they need it.
Mhm.
In fact, I took Kamal and Trey. Kamal came over one time before they had I think which maybe 2 years ago,
Mhm.
Division 2 game, and I took him over to
Wow.
training ground. Kamal was building against Trey and some of his teammates, because their teammates were training.
Okay.
They started training now, indoor training.
Right.
So I took Kamal and Trey over there, and he was building against some of the ex players and some of the Hampshire Academy players,
Mhm.
and Trey was betting against a few of them. So, I think it's just that they need to just take on. Even in Birmingham, Herbie's got some contact in Birmingham
Right.
too, and Stephen Kelly being down in Wales,
Right.
and so it's out there. I think we need to get our youngsters on that.
All right. This
I'll-
is serious, though, what you're saying. I mean,
Oh, it is.
to take it to the next level, it's not about saying I'm only going to train once a week or twice a week. To improve at all standards, on the field, off the field, bowling or batting, it's going to take some time. And what you're telling Earl and I and our listeners is that the opportunity is there. We need to take it. Yeah, it's a cost factor, but the doors are opening.
Yes, it is. And, like I said, there's a lot of good youngsters out there. There's probably more youngsters out there than I know, because I've heard a few other people that's in academies out there that are playing too. You know, like I said, it's not only in the Hampshire, but I know Birmingham's league. You got the league, Sussex league, where Delray plays. It's still down in south.
Right.
You know, anywhere down south, right now, or down that area, you know, the wickets are really, really good.
Okay.
Like I said, and you could start earlier.
Right.
Yeah. Indoor games going on now too. You know.
What would you consider being the difference in players' attitudes between here and the players that you see out in the UK?
Oh, jeez, there's a big difference. Because I'm doing a little bit of coaching out there, and you know, when they come to the when the parents bring their kids to the game, to the coaching training sessions, you could see right away.
Wow.
They're sitting still, they're listening. The
attention is there.
You don't have to say do this and do that. They come ready. You know, they come dressed. You know, and sometimes it's only for an hour or 2 hours, but you can most of them always do the extras.
Right.
And that's our problem. They're on time, and if you want to do extras, like the parents that come and say, "Oh, Mr. Madness or Mr. Smith, can you do some extras with my son?" You know, you need, because they're trying to get him at the county level.
Right.
Okay.
So out there, it's a little different. You could play club cricket, but to get to the next level, the county level, you have to do your extras.
Right.
So parents are prepared to pay for the extra training, even if it's like 1 day a week. They might just ask you. Because I'm friendly with one of David Hem's friend. He's a level 3 coach out there, and he runs a camp every summer, and he has like hundreds of little boys.
Wow.
And because he was an ex-player,
right.
So he's got a camp going, and he's up, and then I've got his contact, you know. So I might, if I go back, you know, depending how long I'm gonna be here, I might help him out a bit. But like I say, he has tons of kids out there, and you know, like I say, it's a level 3, and they all need help out there, man. So it's, you know,
so the opportunities are there for Bermudians. It's just basically getting into the contacts and making them and sending their son at a young age, like you said.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be done at a young age now. I think Cleon's son's going to be doing really, really good now, because I'm seeing him. His technique is a lot different than our local players, because he's getting the right coaching out there now.
And it's going through the academy program at a young age.
It's going through the academy at the young age.
Right.
So, and it's playing a lot more matches. When Trey was out there his first 2 years, he's playing like 3 games a week.
Jeez.
Saturday, Sunday, and then
midweek
it was like a little 20.
Right.
So you had him playing in that for his team. So you'd be playing 3 games a week.
And that was similar to how we used to do it here, because you could recall we used to have a lot of double wicket competition, and those were held at clubs throughout the week. So you were playing Saturday, Sunday, sometimes a 60 over, sometimes open, and then like on a Tuesday where you might train on a Wednesday or Thursday, you would play a double wicket competition. So it's what we used to do. It's all changed, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And I mean, not knocking the board. The board's doing the best they can. You know, it's with the facilities they got.
Right.
But I just think, you know, for our youngsters to be like a Delray Rollins or Kamal Larrock or one of these, you know, good players, that you got to do your extras. Sometimes you might be sacrificing, like playing in England for a little while. Because I'm doing some coaching now since I've been back. I'm coaching the under 17s.
Right.
Saturday afternoons, and I'm helping now, and I can see the potential is there.
Right.
And but still they have big faults too.
Yeah.
You know that can be corrected by them probably doing video analysis and all that. That's what we don't have. They have a lot of that in the UK.
Right.
With their video. But right now you could do that on yourself.
Right.
Too.
Right.
You know, and that's what some of the parents was doing on Saturday. It was video, and you might just take it to the
and play it back and then see what's right, what's wrong. That helps.
That helps a lot. You know, and I know they do it a lot in the UK too. You could show them. They was like, oh, that was me. You could point out, you know, the faults, the bad habits, what they should be doing and what's not.
What would you consider be the easiest thing to point out from your standpoint, as a batsman or as a bowler, when one's doing something wrong?
Well, most of the things is a balance. You know, if you have a good
Right.
balance, it doesn't matter. I remember, you know, of course, in England when I first went out there, you know, all before we used to play in the V every day, keep the ball in the V,
Right,
and
right.
and then no, that's out the
Out
door
way
now.
out
Way
the
out the
door.
door. You know what is playing the V.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
English adapting to it now
Right.
because now if a player's got good balance and they
Mhm.
keep their hair still, it doesn't matter if you play in the V, as long
Right.
as you're hitting that ball.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what
to the
counts.
boundary,
Yeah.
Right.
95% of the time, they're scoring runs. Why would you change them?
Right,
Mm.
right.
You know, I done a coaching course in betting 3 years ago, and we was identifying certain players' technique,
Mm.
and then they would ask us what you think wrong with the player, and should we change it?
Wow.
In the class, we had 10 people that was doing the course, and 9 of us said that we would change it, and we was all wrong
Right.
because they said that same player,
Huh.
he scored 95 of his runs. The shot that he was playing he was keeping the ball on the ground,
Right.
and he was making runs. So
Right.
they said, why would you
Why would you
change it?
change it?
Even though he was playing
If he
away
was
from his
constantly
body,
getting out,
Right.
yes, you change
then
it.
you would change it.
Right, right.
And that's the thing now. Like, you know, you have to analyze a player, and when you do it, if it's scoring runs, you don't change it. And that's what English players were doing a lot. You know, they was falling back.
Right.
Nowadays, it's you know, they got
Yeah.
everybody's doing different shots, the
yeah.
scoots, and
Yeah.
you can't. It's just not going to be.
Yeah.
2020's coming around now, so improvisation. You got to improvise.
Yeah,
You're not
that's
just going to
true.
score
And
runs.
now
Yeah.
there's a bunch of talk about a 10-10 if they're going to go into the Olympics.
Yeah.
So
10,
So-
10, Jesus.
that's the only way to get it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't do a 2020. It's just too many teams that they'll have in the Olympics, and it would take too long.
Too long,
They're,
right.
they're looking at a 10-10. So
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's cricket's it's changed now. Even with building now, like you know, before everybody was like bunts and now it's slow balls,
Yeah.
right.
reverse swing. You know,
Everything.
everything's-
The game has
so-
changed, has revolved around so
on.
many techniques. And it's the batting and bowling, and then, like you said, the 20-20, 50 overs, 10-10. Jesus. Doc, we've got some more guests coming in. Of course, we'd like to have you on stay for more information. I mean, what you're giving us is valuable stuff. It's incredible. I just wish you and your family and Trey the best for 2018 and the rest of the meetings that are out there. I'm sure when you go back, what we can do is hook up on a telephone conversation and talk to you while you're out there and tell us what it's all about.
Okay, well, I'm going to be here at least to April,
Okay.
maybe May. I'm not too sure. Gonna work for something, but hopefully I'll be back in the UK between June and August,
Okay.
because you know, like I said, I got to do some coaching, and I also play for Hampshire. It's over 50, so
He don't look 50, folks, at all. He looks about 40 or 38.
I was going to say, did you give them your passport? Because
They don't believe you. They don't look that at all. Jeez, boy.
surprising you said that, Earl, because that was one of the first thing I had to do is bring out my passport,
right.
to make sure they check your birth date
Mm.
and how long you've been in the UK, and
Right.
you know, they have trials and stuff. So yeah, and now I'm not going from one end to the other end because I'm the fittest in the team.
Right.
But it's good experience. I get to play all around
That's good.
South.
Right.
Good.
Most of the good rounds we play on second 11 county
Mm.
rounds. So I'm traveling all around South playing cricket.
Right.
So
Good stuff.
Still doing what you love, isn't it?
He loves it.
yeah.
and you know, he goes to watch Southampton play. You know,
Huh?
Oh,
he
yeah.
watched Southampton play a couple of times.
And I'm close to the ground, so I'm
Right.
close to Southampton ground and the Aegis Bowl. So they just a lot of the players go. I'm really upset about that. But what can you do?
Oh, they're going up to Liverpool. That's what
Yeah,
they go.
it's
It's all right. It's all good. Thanks a lot, Doc.
No
We're going to
problem.
take a commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio.
What's that? Come on, do me a favor. Unplug all those plugs and replug them. I hear a slight hum for some reason.
Okay. Can you do? I gotta let these girls. Can you do it from your own?
What's that?
Bring these girls in.
Okay, good.
Unplug this.
Yeah. Plug them. Here, replug them.
Yeah.
You go in 1 and 3, Earl.
23.
Worldwide support.
Welcome back,
And
Dave.
local providers who are registered online.
One back in.
96% of claims are settled in
And then
5
the one on the hand.
This one?
Yeah.
Both of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard. You heard your headphones?
I do know the headphones on.
Okay.
What's a hum?
Slight yeah.
That's what we hear.
296-3200 or visit cgigroup.com.
Calling all players. What time is it? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more. Weekly promotions, instant win games. Be a lucky loser with our weekly draws. Become a game time player. Call into one of
I hear it.
Hear it?
Yeah. I know it from
I don't know where it came from. Oh, it's going.
No, still there.
It's going now.
It's going.
Yeah.
Oh, it was up against the speaker.
Oh, where is it?
It was up against the speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's I say? I said, that doesn't normally happen before.
Hello there.
You saw it was up against the speaker causing like that magnet.
Which one?
Like a spur one was up against
Oh, against her. Oh,
right.
okay.
Like was there a magnet in there? So.
Good, good.
Bermuda Broadcasting Company is pleased to present Inside House with John Bassett and Sarah Bushton.
Trivia?
No, okay.
Trivia now? Or?
Yeah.
Trivia?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna break some.
Right.
In-depth analysis to provide the latest information on diabetes. In addition, we feature guests and those sharing testimonials who have been successfully managing their diabetes. Phone lines will be open for your participation. That's Inside Health with John Bassett and Sarah Bushton every first and third Tuesday of the month on Power 95. Brought to you by
You got her, right? Same with your mic.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston. This weekly segment of the Sports Trivia has been brought to you by 4-Star Pizza, A.S. Cooper and Sun Limited, Pork Nuts, Bermuda, and Sports Source.
Yes, and it's that time. It's the weekly sports trivia question. Yes, we do have Kamal Evans in the studio with us, the president of the Netball Association. We're going to do this sports trivia question. We'll come right back to you. Then we do news. Then we'll come back to you. Please forgive me. The question for today is very simple. Give us a call, 292-9595. Do not text me, please. When were the first Commonwealth Games held and in what country? Again, when were the first Commonwealth Games held and in what country? Give us a call at 292-9595 for that answer. And you can win a $25 gift certificate by Sports Source in Warwick. And of course, they're having a sale every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday at the Sports Source in Warwick. Again, I'll give you that trivia question again. When were the first Commonwealth Games held and in what country? Give us a call, 292-9595. Before we go to news, I just want to introduce you. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good, thank you.
What's on tap for the Netball Association 2018?
Well, for 2018, and I'm trying to push forward and build on what we had done in 2017.
Right.
We're looking to maintain and or improve our world ranking. So with that being said, we have continued with our national training. We've also amped up the training and brought in under 16s and under 19s because we understand that our youth is our future, and we definitely have to get those programs going in order to feed into our senior national team. So that is big on the forefront for 2018.
Wow. It's amazing now. Every sporting event in Bermuda has something on tap, and it goes unnoticed until it happens. That's why it's like kind of cool to give information on this type of event or story. And their event is this summer, correct?
Yes. Well, this summer we have two actually. This summer there is a developmental series that is being hosted by USANA, which is the USA Netball Federation. They've invited Canada as well as us to participate in an under 19 series, just playing some matches so that they can get some experience and exposure, because currently right now the under 19s don't really have much going on, I should say worldwide, but you know that is definitely the feeder group into what is most countries' senior teams. So we've been invited there, which is in July 22nd to 26th, to play in this. And we're really looking to use that to get a good view of some of our 19 players that some have played in our senior national team and some haven't.
Right.
And it's not because, you know, that they're not good enough. It's just that some of them that are now under 19s were under 16s in previous years.
Okay.
So we would like to use that tournament to have a look at some of the under 19 players. It's great that it actually falls into the summer months because we can see some of our overseas based players come back and hopefully participate in that. And hopefully a lot of them will be able to carry into the senior squad. We're definitely looking to take a youthful senior squad, and that will be to the World Cup qualifiers, which is the AFNA region qualifiers for us. Wow. And that will take place in Barbados in August.
Okay. We're going to go to the news. When we come back, we speak with you. You had something, Tom Bassett?
Yeah. For the trivia, want to take that?
Do that and then we go straight to news.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, ma'am. That is the answer.
1930 Hamilton County.
That is correct.
You are correct.
You know the usual. I ain't got to say it to you. I'm not even gonna take your name. This is like the 4th out of 5, right? Congratulations. All right.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go to news, and when we come back, we'll speak more with the president of the Indianapolis Association, Kamal Evans. We'll be back. She gets some more. She gets some more. Oh, sorry. Dang.
How long is it?
This one's 7 minutes and 58 seconds.
Assurance new budget is set to benefit all sectors of the community.
I had on her. She thought I were going to answer because, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right. So she's like, hey, what did they call? I had to with her. She can hear us talking to that.
True.
And major refurbishment set to be carried out on the aging.
Damn, you're a busy one.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jocelyn Patterson with Bermuda Broadcasting News. No early insight as to what the 2018-2019 budget portends, but Premier and Finance Minister David Byrd giving the assurance it will be geared toward ensuring all benefits, economic or otherwise, are felt by all sectors of the community.
The fact is that the cabinet has been working hard, putting together a plan.
And that's why your expenses not as high as footballs or crickets. So you just need like $50, $60 a month.
It's going to be it's going to be investment. It's going to be making sure that we deliver on our promises and take care of those who are forgotten.
Oh, it sounds like somebody else is the president. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so,
we have the aging population. We have the desire to have the 60-40 rule relaxed, if not done away with. How much of that do you see actually coming to fruition?
Well, is it because it's not close enough? You know, we always wait to the last minute and then we go to train.
The program we're trying to develop is not about new program just because you see a trade coming and there's people that be exempt.
Was to deliver
because we're not doing that anymore.
So we are going to make those investments. We are going to do what's necessary in order to fix some of the challenges which exist. But overall, we have to recognize it as a country.
So this has come under your leadership?
And that
was like, yeah.
Return back to the heydays of the 2000s. The fact is that if we have growth, but one section of the economy is not benefiting, then it's not a help. So this is about growing together. It's about making investments in training, investments in education, investments in social programs.
The seniors not coming up, but the youth are.
At the same points in time that we're talking about investments.
Are you going to give them a deadline to say, look, you ought to make it or take it?
We're going to host a meeting with them, but it's already been reached out to enough, so they will be delivered to check.
So how many girls are we now for the seniors?
Pardon?
How many girls have been attending for the seniors?
between 6 to 10, regularly between 6 to 10, and out of that 6 to 10, about 5 of them.
I've read a couple of the articles and things like that, and it is quite concerning for sure.
So you need a squad of at least 20 though, right? Training.
Oh, training.
Training. But then to take the numbers overseas, what are you looking for seniors? 6 to 10, so yeah, okay.
Hopefully in time,
take 12, so at this rate, it's like the 2 Olympic itself. We do have players that are overseas at university.
It is quite widespread, quite alarming to the end, right, really.
Well, in the case
that get this much attention and so quickly.
Chris Bryant, the Labour MP in Britain, said the reversal of same-sex marriage makes previously married gay couples an anomaly. Do you feel like an anomaly?
I wouldn't say we're an anomaly. I think that it does create further division within an already divided community, for
sure. So when are the seniors coming out again? Because you said
August.
August?
August. The end of August.
But you got 6 to 10. Wait, let me get it right. You got 6 to 10 of them training now.
And it's been since last December that we started our training.
And who's the coach? Is Michette for the seniors? Or is it Michelle?
Yeah.
He must be pissed.
He's not happy. He's happy for the youth because he too, I coached the under 16s.
Right. So he sees development.
On island later this month and through March.
So you may have to do it this year.
There will be a special program to refurbish a certain class of buses that we have, a certain part of the fleet that is the 2009.
He's not going to understand how important it is to train to get ready for August. That's why these countries are here and we're here. And then they're like, it's too late.
So while we taper it down, we don't want to completely fall off and say, you're not training at all.
Right.
For 2, 3, 4 months. Right. And then you're just training really hard for 3 months just to prepare for a tournament. It's just not acceptable.
You need to take this on full time, kid. Well, as long as they pay you, that's the important part. You know. No, I know, but I'm just saying that's another thing that hurts us is that our sports is volunteer, and so when you have a committee, if the president or whoever's not strong in there, they come out. Just have to flow.
I'm the president. I was having a club. I coach our senior team at the club level. I coach. I'm now the assistant at the national level.
Where you get this energy from? Huh? Jesus, boy. Yeah, because I'm tight as hell. Girl, you gotta find some time to yourself.
What's Madness' first name? The guy Madness that it was on.
Andre.
Dang,
and that's every day, 7 days a week. Yeah, probably training 6. Involved in that poll though.
Well, yeah, some week. Well, right now because we're in the training on Sundays and then Tuesdays, studying endurance training at Beast. That's why we have to be there.
Well, that's
so
cool.
We have Beast on Tuesdays, Thursdays I have my club training, and then it's Sunday mornings. So I'm at Napa on Saturday, all day Saturday. After my son plays.
I was about to say you got your son.
And Sunday at school training, 7:45 to 9:30.
8 in the morning to 9:30 on Sundays. That's deep, boy.
This weekend was our first session for the under 16 and 19, so we had a very good turnout. And the under 16s, we spoke up and we said, this is a continuous developmental group. There's nothing on the agenda for them this year, but for next year, April for next year, because April this year is too close.
Oh yeah.
So for next year, we haven't been training for an entire year, then they should be in performing.
Last year you brought in a coach from overseas. Are you looking to do that again? Can I ask you that? 'Cause I don't know. Yep. Can I ask you about that? Because that helped out a lot, right?
Well, it did, but I also remember seeing Michelle shattered her.
Okay. You can say that. To groom him and
million.
are
Returning residents declared overseas
you
purchases
know,
valued at
locally
$6.4
based
million,
coaches.
which is 3.2%
So I know
higher
that
than November
AFNA in particular
2016.
are trying
This
to do
contributed to a
coaching
combined
and
local
umpiring
and overseas
courses,
spending
and
of
the BNA
$102.3
are trying
million.
to, you know,
That's our
put it
newscast
out
for
to
the hour.
local
I'm
coaches to
Jasmine
come on
Patterson
board.
with
And
Bermuda
if these people are
Broadcasting
serious,
News.
then
Enjoy
we
your
will
day.
actually send them to these courses.
This weather update is provided by the Bermuda Weather Service, sponsored by BF&M.
All right, thank you, Jasmine. Weather-wise, mostly sunny skies right now. High today, 73 beautiful degrees. My goodness. Hey, tonight, increasing clouds. Overnight tonight, 68-degree temperature. Checking ahead for Tuesday, hazy, sunshine, cloudy. A couple of showers in the evening time. On for Tuesday, high 72, a low 64. Checking for Wednesday's outlook, sunny breaks, early morning showers, clearing by afternoon for Wednesday, high 68 degrees, a low 62. Thursday and Friday, Thursday, sun and clouds, early on, slight showers. For Thursday, high 69 degrees, low 65. And for Friday, sun and cloud conditions again, increasing clouds overnight for Friday. Winds out of the southwest, high 72 degrees, low 68 in Bermuda.
This weather update was provided by the Bermuda Weather Service, sponsored by...
And thanks to the folks at BF&M and the Bermuda Weather Service.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio. With our Inside the Family, host Ian Rhodes and co-host Earl Baston.
And yes, welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. With us in the studio is the president of the Netball Association, Kamal Evans. Kamal, we were just talking during the break that these events that are coming up, you also have your coaches that are on board. Last year you brought in a coach that helped, an international coach. What's the status for it? Is it possible this year, or are you going to take the information that was passed on to your coaches and hopefully build from there?
If we had the funding, we would love to bring the coach back on board to continue the process, which was actually trying to upgrade and promote our locally based coaches, get them the knowledge and information, and also specifically from this, you know, persons that have been put in that professional environment on a continuous basis. Tony Machette has been extremely committed to netball. He goes online. He's done like online courses and things like that. And for him to actually shadow her as the assistant coach, he was able to gain some, you know, really good information to help take us forward. And he is very much committed. So while yes, we really need to promote our locally based coaches. Some of the things that are on the up and coming is that the AFNA region has put it out there that we need to get some courses over in our side. All the time people have to travel to the UK to take courses, which can be very expensive. So they're looking to bring coaches to put on courses for coaching and umpiring that can be held in as close as New York, which is, you know, just one flight away. And so once these things come out, then we can get a pool of coaches here in Bermuda to go and take those courses and hopefully even come on and develop, become coach courses where they can certify our locally based coaches as well.
Wouldn't it help if when you go to the under-19 development, if they can kind of simultaneously do it then, because you'll already have people there. You know what I mean? It could work in twofold to try and convince them to send somebody over to do it then. Well,
there'll be three of us, Canada, USA, and Bermuda, that's participating there, and that's what they're looking to do. Put things in tandem. Basically, you have a coaching course as well as you're playing. You might have some umpiring sessions as well as while you're playing. So, you know, the idea is to always try and get more bang for our buck. We can't afford to go to tournaments just to say, okay, we're going to play in tournaments. So most times, the tournaments that we do choose to participate in is a twofold experience for both coaches as well as players.
How many games do you think you have to play per year in order to improve the ranking in which you've established in 2017?
We have to play 2. We are ranked right now. We would love to go on and try and win some matches to try and bring our ranking up. However, we do understand that we're in a somewhat of a rebuilding phase. A lot of the senior players are now phasing out of the game and just playing more domestically versus internationally, stating that the bodies can't really take as much of the banging and abuse that kind of comes with it. But I would say, as long as we can keep some of those players to help guide our current players, we'll be fine, because we did have a few of our under-19s that played in the senior squad last year, and we've always had a good mix. So the blessing, and I guess an occurrence, is that a lot of the players that we have that are under-19s have played in international tournaments. They've had the exposure now. They've played in the under-16 GMPR. They've seen what it takes. So it's not like we're taking just fresh players. Right. The other thing is that, I guess, I don't want to go to the cards, is that they're still young. They're still growing, and we don't want them to mentally, sometimes that's where the downfall comes. It's not that they're not technically capable, but it's more the mental side of things.
One of the hardest things, as we all know, is to keep young ladies involved in sport, and obviously netball's a whole female sport. But how are you guys managing that? Because you see the numbers. How many of those girls are still involved that went to Scotland in the under-16 tournament? Was under-16 or under-19?
Last
number
year?
Years ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, currently what happened is there's a bunch of them that in university.
Right.
We do have a group of players that are now going to be graduating and coming back. I know specifically at my club, we have 2 that are back to actually play it this weekend, and we have another 2 that are looking to come back to Bermuda. So it's very important that not only us, the Bermuda Netball Association, but also our club teams, like, really try and encourage those players that have had a little bit of experience, specifically the ones that have been over in the UK and probably played. I know in Atlanta they have some leagues, and some of the girls have gone to school in Atlanta and things like that, to come back and to give back in some way, shape or form. Like I said, we try and put a model together. We encourage, but it's probably something that we need to look to really, put the grit into and try and get everyone to buy into the fact of getting those players to come back, whether it's in a coaching capacity at your youth levels, whether it's them being a part of the senior team, because my club currently, just about my entire team is under 19.
Right.
And
That's
they're
good.
playing in the senior league.
Oh.
So while we may not win every single game, they're definitely gaining experience.
Yeah. Where do you see netball within the next 2 to 3 years from now? Last year, or since I've been doing interviews with you, Earl and I, yes, the Jean-Pierre, I hope I pronounced it correctly, that's been a steady tournament that's been going on, but now you're expanding, you're putting in more international matches. Is the sport of netball growing in Bermuda through the youth programs as you go forward?
It's definitely growing. We're finding more players coming in at the under 12 level. We are targeting their schools. Last year we tried to push some of our senior national players to go into the schools to assist with coaching some of the teams and things of that nature, so that will continue on. The only unfortunate thing is that in the schools, netball is only for 2 months. 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, which is definitely not long enough. And our leagues for the juniors run from November to April, so we definitely need to get them playing a lot more.
Right.
I see netball going places. The group of workers that we have on the council are really trying to push netball. We're trying to, as you can see, make the courts look a lot more attractive, make it more desirable to be on. They're encouraging other tournaments that will bring people down to support us. We do have a few people that want to come on board and sponsor our junior leagues and things like that. So I feel that once we get the buy-in from not only the players down there, but we bring the community into it, I think it's going to help boost our numbers, and also as far as our development, the more we get playing.
And I say that because, or the question I say is because what you have done under your leadership and under your committee, you can see that the sport is growing. and it's not an easy task. It's a volunteer thing what you guys do. So I'm not just patting you on your back in your committee, but accolades must be done to you guys because of what you're doing. Can you see the future of the program also expanding in the senior programs as well, meaning from the under 19s and going forward?
Yes, we have a large pool of under 19 players. We have some that are currently based here, and we have some that are in school. So the difficult part about it is trying to match those players because we have a bunch of them that are away in university and college, and then we have some of them that are still here. The ones that are still here are just breaking into, whereas the ones that are now in university have played internationally. So our look is to develop these under 19s, get them playing some matches because they will be the senior national team, and I think that they may make up 3/4 of the senior national team going forward. It's very important that we get them some exposure. That's the only way that they're going to gain experience. Just playing matches here locally is not going to be good enough. It's not going to take them to that next level.
With a number of matches being played in Bermuda, and yes, you're taking the girls overseas to get the international experience, is it a possibility where Bermuda can host an event here where you bring in Canada and the United States?
Well, we have been in talks with Youth and Sport first and foremost, and we'll make our way to getting some meetings with the government. We've spoken about the Science 360, which is a legal netball service. I mean, nothing's been said. We don't know what's actually going to be happening with that. We would love for that to, take it on and allow that to be our home base. We've mentioned it before, but the reality of it all is that most countries have gone away from playing on outside surfaces. Our school gyms are overly used by multiple sports, and I'm a sports person and I advocate for sports. I think sports does a lot for the youth and for people in general, but because we're kind of low down on the totem pole, we try and put in bids to get the different gyms, but the other organizations already have them, and some of their surfaces are not really conducive. Like they need the gyms and things like that need to be resurfaced and things like that. So some of those things we're trying to foster some partnerships. We have had partnerships. Summersfield's been awesome for our national program. They've been on board, I want to say, for probably about the past 5 years, allowing us to use their facilities on weekends as well as hosting events, fundraising events and things like that. So we want to give a big shout out to them. As well as Beach Gym has been on board for the past 4 years as well, for the strength and endurance training and things like that.
Cool. Any final questions up?
I'm just looking forward to the summer.
And we will have our outlet, our summer league, because it's our biggest, media outlet. Just give them a shout out.
I thought she was going to talk about me playing again, because we ain't getting on that road.
Oh, that's what I thought. I was going to say, I'll be there. I will be there. I'll be there to watch.
We had my one time.
Earl was fantastic.
Know what I'm saying?
Just let you know.
Okay. Yeah.
He was. Don't let him try in.
Oh, he ain't fooling me. I was good with him. Because he's going to play again.
I know he's going to play again.
Thank you very much.
Certainly is.
When is that date?
We're gonna
to be decided.
That's definitely
to be decided.
But we're definitely looking to do a second celebrity match.
It was a lot of fun.
We had persons that are asking us to be a part of it. So.
That's
that? I can sit down.
No. You got to represent BBC.
I can sit down.
You can represent BBC.
Somebody's got to record it, man.
I'll record it for you. I'll come to work.
No, why don't you play?
No. No.
It's a lot of fun, but definitely try and do a lot more things like that. That will help us.
All right. Any final comments, ma'am?
I would just like to thank our council members for the effort that they put forward. Specifically, I want to do a big shout out to Gina Benjamin, who also wears multiple hats as far as us coaching and trying to get the face of netball out there, as well as managing and coaching our national team. So and Anthony Michette's also.
All right. Well, we wish you all the best for 2018 and beyond. And I know that the work that you put in, you'll get out.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll take a commercial break, and we come back. We have Kenny Thompson joining us in the studio. That's it right now.
Presented to you by Windows Group of Companies, Colonial Group International, Global Atlantic Financial Group, Game Time,
Okay. Oh, you're recording this or is it live?
Thank you, sir.
No problem, sister.
That's why I haven't.
I have you on the wall the next time.
Someone had called in.
Yeah, it won't come up.
Bring
I
people
don't
in
know
their
why.
pocket to my dog.
So it's on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You just tell them it's on
On
YouTube.
YouTube.
I don't know why it won't come up, but it's recording because it's telling me it's telling me it's live.
Okay.
I've been trying, but it won't.
Right. Because people follow you, man. I'm gonna let you know. People follow you. I mean, they can, but people say, hey, man, I enjoy you guys' show, and I'm tuned in. You know what I mean? People follow you, man. You know, because a lot of people are off during the day, right? Work hotel at night, or whatever, and they tune in.
I'm recovering. My door is definitely out of me, so I just started training again today. It's hard.
Hey, what's up, bro?
All right. Yeah.
Hello, back, sir. All right. So, K-Tech Intro.
Is a delicious solution offering authentic curry sauce free of animal products and artificial ingredients. We're featuring Mike's Organic Curry, 95% green and yellow Thai, Sri Lankan tikka masala, and Massaman curry sauce. Windows, why do anyplace else?
90 seconds.
The Bermuda Football Coaches Association is dedicated to increasing the competitiveness of Bermuda football through the use of highly qualified coaches. Join the BFCA at Pier 6 Complex on March 2nd for a speakers night with Gerard Houllier.
Hello Bermuda, this is Gerard Houllier. Join me at Pier 6 for a 5:30 p.m. kickoff.
Tickets are $75. Help Bermuda coaches become qualified at the highest level. Sponsored by Sampo International, Stoli Vodka, and Excel Catlin.
Chopper man, take me down, take me down. This looks like my lighthouse. That's my stop.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Passport, please.
Here it is.
Another guess.
I missed my son's birthday.
I got Kenny first.
Yeah. Somebody says letting them through. So.
I don't know if he's letting them in.
Cheers, because they're running hot.
What we starting with?
My son
What's on tap? What you do last week? What's on tap for you going forward now? Because the basketball thing is unveiled. You're a basketball program.
Right.
What's next after that?
Well, yeah, other tournaments, but we can discuss I guess, the more depth.
Sure. We can start there and then I can go from there.
There's a lot of things that we didn't discuss before because we had said unveiled it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can go there. So what's the name of it again?
Super League.
Super League.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baisden. This segment of K-Tech with Kenny Thompson has been brought to you by Windows Group of Companies.
And welcome back, and it's that time. Kenny, last time we spoke, you were working on unveiling the Super League. Now that that is done, what's in store? How are things working in that program for you?
Yeah, good afternoon. It's going very well. We did make the announcement last week, Monday, a joint release with the Bermuda Football Association. We were in communication with the Bermuda Football Association as we were building this concept that they're the national governing body of football in Bermuda, so it's important to get the BFA buy-in and support, which they have, and we've made the announcement. We did start the competition in mid-January, and it's just going very well.
Really?
The players are really enjoying it. The parents are really enjoying it. The atmosphere and the environment that we've created is really exciting for the players.
Wow.
And we're in the midst now of just taking it to the next level.
I recall when we did the interview a couple of weeks ago that you said you want to put it on a professional level. And excuse me, and at that age in Bermuda, it usually doesn't start. We start later in 16, 17. Having it at this age, it helps the players understand the game, and this is what they want as well.
Yes, it's important to start the players' development as early as possible. So with this, the idea to have them competing very early is important, that they learn how to achieve goals, in this case competitive goals, because the reality is that football is really competitive. So the places that they want to go, it's really competitive, and it's important that they kind of get a jump start on this as soon as possible. So with that, then we wanted to make the atmosphere and the whole thing really exciting to them, and a vibrant atmosphere. So we want to set it up to be professional looking in terms of the things that they relate to, like really nice goals, and the pitch is important as well, because from a technical development perspective, that they have to learn how to do things very quickly. And with the pitch being a perfect pitch, then we can make demands on them to do things very quickly, not just technically, but in terms of speed of thought. If we compare that to most of the natural grass surfaces throughout Bermuda, then it's actually a hindrance to their technical development, because if the field is uneven,
that's right,
then you have to take more time to get the ball under control. And if you're thinking about how am I going to get this ball under control, then there's not very much time to think about what you're going to do next with it. True. So that affects the tactical part of things as well, which I think, you know, most people kind of coming up back in the day would, the argument would have been, if you can do it on a bad surface, then when you play on a good surface, naturally you can do it.
That's
and that's not the case.
No.
Basically, the bad surfaces develops bad habits. That by the time you get onto a really good surface, those bad habits are already ingrained.
That's true.
The slowness of the thinking, the not getting your head up early enough, and things like that. So this idea to have this competition, a competition like this, on the best natural grass surface, from a developmental standpoint, was very, very important.
From a development perspective here, this is your key and Andrew's key, is to develop these young players under 10, under 12s. Where can you see them 10 years from now? Because this is where you're putting these players in place now to be your senior players. Can you see this program really taking them and advancing them for a senior program in 10 years, 12 years from now?
Oh yes, just overall, you know, player development is important. And as I said, to have them kind of starting that process as early as possible, to learn all of the nuances of football, and again, the key being competitive football. So it's easy to do things in a way that you become comfortable with when there's no pressure. But our ambitious players, they strive to go to an environment where there is pressure. So they have to learn that as early as possible. But this whole competition it's about the players.
Right.
But at the same time, it's also about the coaches as well. So it allows the coaches to kind of learn and develop their craft as well,
right.
Within a competitive environment, to be able to kind of teach the players how to handle difficult, pressurized, stressful situations, to use the technique towards a particular goal.
Right.
And so, you know, it's a win-win situation for everybody in this, with this project, that the players develop, the coaches are developing,
right.
And it's an exciting environment for the fans as well, so they get a good experience too.
But the challenge is that in all our sports, not just football, I'm talking across the board here, it's great that what you guys are doing, and I applaud you guys, because that, again, the development is the key. But when we hit 15, 16, and 17, we lose the players. Yes, we lose them to prep schools. Yes, we lose them to possibly academies going overseas. That's fine. But they drop off the wayside, they buy the bikes, get caught up with the young ladies and so forth, PlayStation games and like that. How are you going to keep these guys focused, or that age group focused between 15 and 18?
Well, first of all, the idea to go to, if we're losing them to prep schools, and to university and to academies abroad, that's a great thing.
Right.
We actually want to lose them.
Right. That's
to
understandable.
To those areas. The thing is that now it's important that we have something in place for any player that remains in Bermuda.
Good point. Good point.
And so where we tend to lose the players that remain in Bermuda is because maybe the overall structure is not the best. And so it kind of, as they get older, it stops being interesting to them. So this is a part of what we're doing here. We're setting up this environment where it's exciting, it's something interesting. We have to keep kind of striving ourselves to make it interesting so that, you know, boys want to play football. And I'm talking about boys of all age. Right. Boys my age want to play football.
25.
Yeah.
Candy's 25.
Yeah. But we have to make it interesting for them.
Right.
If not, then the question is, why should I continue to play with something that I'm not enjoying, or something that is not in a good environment, or it's not interesting to me? Then the other things become more interesting.
Right.
The bikes and whatever else is out there.
Yeah.
So this, we have to do our part as football administrators, and we have to take it very, very seriously to set the environment up to ensure that it's interesting, that vast numbers of players want to stay in the game.
True.
And there's still a developmental aspect to it, and that at the end of the day, it's something that's enjoyable, and they feel like it's not a waste of time.
You guys,
I'm sorry. I have one question. Sorry, when you travel to Spain with the group over the Christmas period, there are times where coaches from over there take your session. I know you guys in your first year, but will we see that possibly happening in the league that you have, the youth league? Only because you guys can bring a little different ideas to training that the coaches can pick up on and the players can go through. So do you envision that sort of thing taking place for this youth league?
In terms of developing the coaches?
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking the session with their youngsters and developing the coaches.
Yeah. And not from a perspective of us taking the sessions, but this is also a part of the coach development idea that we have, that we can assist the coaches in how they do their job as in player development. So providing them with and sharing the experiences and the knowledge that we've acquired, sharing that with the coaches as a part of this whole brand of Super League.
Right.
So we talked about earlier the buy-in by the Bermuda Football Association, and also the buy-in by the Bermuda Football Coaches Association. Yeah. So it's now becoming one kind of program, if you will, that this is a part of coach development as well. So yes, we are definitely looking to improve the level of coaching, and that was a part of the objective that we set out in this competition, but not from directly from a perspective of us taking the sessions, but us kind of and Andrew and I basically from a perspective of coach educators, and using this where it's a breeding ground for coaches as well.
Do you kind of set up where after a game you're talking to a coach about different tactics that could be used, or a different strategy that could be used to help them develop into a better message deliverer? Because coaching is basically just delivering the message that needs to be delivered, and the players go out and execute it. So do you find you're doing that more often?
And that's exactly it. That's we will be holding these sorts of coach meetings where we can kind of go over the strategies of the different games and how to approach the different games. But then also part of that is that how do you get that message across? What types of exercises, what methodologies and concepts to get the message across to the players, so that we all have our idea of what football should look like. And and it's an easy idea for any one of us. You know, we watched whoever on TV, and we know better than anyone else what they should do.
Right.
Cool. Everybody has that. The difficulty is actually getting that message across to the players.
Yes.
Is actually making exercises that can bring out whatever strategy you have, whatever tactical idea you have. What exercises and how are we going to help the players to develop technically and technically tactically, which is important.
Right.
We can develop players technically to be ball jugglers, for example. But when no one's trying to get the ball from you, then that's easy.
Yeah.
But then what about when someone's trying to get the ball from you and you have this decision or that decision to make? So everything now has to be functional training, technically, tactically. So kind of helping and assisting the coaches to understand these sorts of things, because in reality we only have a short period of time to get a lot of information across, so we have to use that time efficiently. So kind of all of this, yes, to get this out to the coaches through these coach education workshops, meetings, and so on, to improve the coaches. We improve the coaches, we improve the players, and we improve the players and their performances and team performances. We improve the product, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. The fans come out, they see something that's exciting, they see something that's of high quality. We lose players to prep schools and to academies and to universities. They get an education. The players that remain, they're in an interesting environment, so they stay in football. The end product, or not the end product, but a byproduct of that is that the senior football looks better in the future, and maybe more people come to watch on Sundays.
For sure. That's for sure.
You said something that I often have to remind youngsters about all the time, is that when they see someone juggling the ball and they can do it 500 times, that's one thing. Put that person on the field where they have to make a decision of passing and doing other things, becomes a different animal.
Oh yes,
totally different.
Yeah. And the key is, as no football action is repeated in exactly the same way.
Right.
Then it's important to, in the training concept, that we train concepts. So we want to put the players in certain tactical concepts as often as possible, so that then they can make the right decision out of, like I said, no situation is going to happen exactly the same.
Right.
So because they understand the concept, then they can, I recognize this situation that's happened before in training, in the thousands of hours that I've done it in training and in matches and so on. So then they can solve it, no matter how it comes at them. But when
that's the key, solving it.
When we do too many exercises that are, cone A, cone B, cone C, and you pass to cone A, and A passes to B, and B passes to C. Yeah, and then in the game it doesn't happen like that.
Right.
So
all you have to do is block off that one.
Yeah. So to get to D, you might have to go to C first, and then come back to A, and then go to C and end up at D. So there are so many kind of variables that happen because you have opponents. Someone who's trying to get the ball from you. You have your teammates. Are they in the correct positions? You have your options. Is this the right decision? The decision made here in this situation. In the other situation, it might be wrong.
Right.
So one thing that, as a coach, I try to do as often as possible. I had to learn to do it in the early days of coaching. Is to not say never. Never do that.
Right.
Well, there might be a time when it's
Needs
required to do that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, because I understand that there's a moment for everything. There's something for every moment. So the short pass today, tomorrow the long pass might be required, or when we were growing up, we always heard, never play across your goal. I'm like, why not? If nobody's in the way, then
you can play it.
Why not play across the
That's
goal?
because a lot of people don't have confidence in the goalkeepers.
Yeah. So
but in the back.
What I'm saying is that we have to keep the players open-minded.
Yeah.
That anything is possible under certain circumstances. Now through the methodology of the training, then you learn to react appropriately to all different variables.
Well, years ago, you could recall when goalkeepers weren't used, quote unquote, as sweepers. Whenever the ball was played back to them, they didn't know what to do. 9 times out of 10, they put the foot out, the ball will roll by, and they're chasing the ball. When you see that a lot, it's because that's not the style that they've played. Now that you see the game has evolved around, you see a player play the ball back from the halfway line just to keep possession, kind of thing. So the game has changed.
Yeah, it's funny when you say that, because my mind went back to the days, playing youth football with Somerset and playing for Somerset and playing for Somerset Eagles. That I think in many ways we were probably ahead of the game on a world stage, because I played with goalkeepers like Lou Simmons, who was tremendous with his feet.
Right.
Ty Simons, rest in peace, who was tremendous with his feet.
Right.
Scaly Williams, who was probably better than most guys on the field as a goalkeeper. So we had goalkeepers who were way ahead of their time before the whole back pass rule came into play, who were just superb with their feet.
Cool. Well, Kenny, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, thank you.
It's always a pleasure. This guy's got all the information, right? Gives you some valuable stuff, man. From under 12s, he had the answers for that. And he's honest. Like, look, between the ages of 15 and 18, they go off to academies, they go off to prep schools. But we have to have a program in place here to keep the interest. And I think that was the key there. On Island. And it's so true, because that's, I think, why we lose our interest, because the young people say, this is still the same. So let me go try something different. Kenny's always saying, we got to put something in place now for these young guys, so we don't lose it, so they can be prepared for our national senior teams.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
And the key term is administrative responsibility. As football leaders, then
that's true.
It's our job
to do
the story.
Yeah. Thank you very much, bro. We'll see you in 2 weeks with K-Tech. We'll be back after this. We'll bring in more guests.
Joining K-Tech with Cody Thompson. Brought to you by Windows Group of Companies.
I don't know how you fucking do it.
Yes.
I'll catch you later. Was it 7 days a week you do this?
Never day off.
And Fit for Life with Dave Wolf. We'll return after the break.
Premier Health is a smart health insurance plan that does most of the thinking for you.
You're automatically connected to 1 million U.S. network providers, 24/7 worldwide support,
and more local providers who are registered online.
96% of claims are settled in 5 days, often without paperwork. Less paperwork cuts errors, delays, and costs.
So more of your premium goes towards generous benefits.
Premier Health. Smart health insurance feels good.
Call Colonial on 296-3200
or visit cgigroup.com.
Calling all players. What time is it? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more. Weekly promotions, instant win games. Be a lucky loser with our weekly draw. Become a game time player.
Go back.
Yeah, we have better.
How you doing? Good, thanks.
Do you know each other?
No, you don't. I'm Alex.
Alex.
How are you? This is my daughter, Alex. She's alright to sit in here?
Yeah. You can put on that show over there.
She's over there?
No, you sit there. You sit there.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just the director.
I do too. I forgot.
Director.
If you got a good I get carried in my head.
Headphones on.
Joining the many sponsors as we
30 seconds.
Why go to place out?
Bermuda Broadcasting Company is pleased to present Inside Health with John Bassett and Sarah Boston of the Bermuda Diabetes Association on Power 95 and
There you go.
5-minute live analysis will provide the latest information on diabetes. In addition, we will feature guests and those sharing testimonials who have been successfully managing their diabetes. Phone lines will be open for your participation. That's Inside Health with John Bassett and Sarah Boscabella every first and third Tuesday of the month on Power 95. Brought to you by Lindo's Group of Companies and the Argus Group.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio with Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And we are back on Inside Sports Talk Radio. Busy Monday, Earl.
Yeah.
Busy Monday. With us, joining with us now in studio is Vicky Abraham, who's no stranger. She's one of the committee members and marketing members for the International Triathlon that's taking place in April 28th.
Correct.
27.
28. That's right. Forgive
Got
me.
that dropped in.
Yeah, 27 and 28. Good afternoon to you, Vicky. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
You have a special guest with you today.
Yes, indeed. We have the director of the Bermuda Triathlon Association, Alex Shepard. And
hello. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Alex obviously been involved with triathlon in Bermuda for some time, and it's good for your listeners to really understand a little bit more about what happens on the triathlon set and what kind of training goes on and how we're grooming our young people into the sport.
Right. Good, Alex.
Well, we are obviously very interested in getting as many people of a young age involved at the earliest possible time. So we have some camps that we run through the year, and also an affiliated group called Tri-Heads, which meets every Saturday between March and October. And that really is to get kids from the age of around 7 into the sport, doing multi-sport events, biking and running in particular, and swimming, and just getting them interested and enthused, teaching them the basics, and then seeing if if they show some talent, then developing it from there. So
having the ITU here, in April, and having the young people come on board, we all know that it starts with the youth. Will this Mecca of event held in April bring the youth out and say, you want to be a part of Bermuda's future in triathlon, do you think?
Well, I very much hope so. And Flora Duffy has often said before that it was watching events back in the 90s when I think past World Cup races were held here. And she watched them and was inspired to get into the sport, and look where she is now. So we hope there'll be more out there who see her and others like her and really want to be involved.
If I can just quickly interrupt on that one too, the Specialized, which is the bike brand that has now sponsored Flora, has just released an incredible video where she's talking about exactly that, and she's saying, at the age of 9, she had an aspiration to be a gold medal Olympian and world champion, and so here she is, having achieved her dream, and it's a very cool video that I'd love for your listeners to see, and it's on our Facebook page.
Sure. Well, I'm sure we could work something out there. Bermuda Broadcasting Company as well. So it's 30 seconds or a minute.
I'll let you know. I haven't counted.
It's quite lengthy.
It's quite lengthy.
Oh, well, yeah.
They done it when they were here.
Okay.
Period. Because they had people from ITU with her.
Right.
They've done it kind of here, talking to her. So.
Okay. So it's a feature piece.
I'm glad you've seen it.
Alec, let me ask you a question. When looking at triathlons around the world, because we have a lot of people that go abroad to different triathlons, what are they looking for when they are looking to compete internationally? Because obviously the people that are going to come here are looking for a similar thing. Isn't that kind of the case?
Yes, and I think for people here, we want to go and you want to see other countries, you want to experience a different race, how it's set up, different courses, and that's why people want to come here.
Right.
They want to hopefully come and see a beautiful island, swim in a lovely blue sea instead of something perhaps a bit colder, and just a different atmosphere altogether. So I think it just provides something different, especially for the Americans. It will be an offshore event for them, so just something that they won't necessarily have experienced before.
No, we have a what we consider a chock-a-block season as far as triathlons here, because they're stretched out. I think the first one's end of March, I believe, and goes right through to October. And then you have the tri-tries. Over the years, we've seen a multitude of people come in waves and then kind of back off. And so, what do you think this event will sustain people for a little while in getting ready for it and then seeing the season through?
Very much so. I mean, this event is the first of the season, really, a proper race.
Mhm.
So end of April is quite early.
Right.
Then the other races are dotted through from May. There's one in June, I think, and then September and
Pretty
October.
much each month, yeah.
So I hope that once people have done this race
Mhm.
and they get the bug and they enjoy the whole experience, then they'll see that there's other races to do.
Convince someone out there about doing a swim bike run, because some people will say, well, when I go swimming, that's it, I don't want to do anything else. Or when I go running, I don't want to do anything else. Or when I go riding, I don't want to do anything else. But how would you convince someone who would love to try at least once to get involved?
Well, I think triathlon is a great way to train, if you know, because rather than just concentrating on running and you get aches and pains from just doing that,
right?
You can swim.
You get aches and pains from doing all
yeah,
three.
But it exercises your whole body, so you've got the swimming, and then the cycling is a bit less traumatic, if you like, on your joints, and then you've got the running. So, and it provides something of interest all the time, because you're not just going out running every day.
Right.
You can do something different.
Right.
And it's a fantastic group of people who do it. Very supportive, very enthusiastic. Everyone wants everyone else to do well, so it's just a great camaraderie. So
I saw you look interested, Ian. I think you might be. This might be going around in your mind. I mean, you do a bit of CrossFit now, don't you?
Yeah.
I think we're brewing up a challenge here.
You think so?
A challenge of broadcasting personalities. What do you say?
2020.
You've got 3 years.
It's 3 years, right? The training, and I was thinking about the training. You're right, Vicky. You're right. You read my mind. Is it like an hour and a half of training if you're trying to do all three, or how's the training go? You say today I'm going to concentrate on cycling, tomorrow I'll be swimming, then the following day I'll be running, or you combine all three?
You normally do, perhaps you might do two disciplines each during the week, and then you might combine a session with a ride and then a run after that, or a swim and then a bike, or whatever. So try and combine it to make it more time efficient. But generally, you're just doing perhaps 2 swims a week, 2 rides, 2 runs. So it's just something different every day, and you're not overdoing any one of those. So
is the training more in the morning, or is it midday or evening?
Well, here, any time between April and October, very early morning. The cycling obviously is much easier early in the morning. There's less traffic.
Let me ask this question, because it's rather a serious one. When people are training, you see people training for triathlon, you see them training in a pool, but more than likely when they're competing, it's open water. There's a very, very big difference in that. How do you, in your mind, work that out? Because it could be challenging, because in a pool you're just up and down, no tide, unless you got someone swimming next, there's no waves, but there's so many different variables when you go to open water swimming, isn't it?
It's a good question, because that's something that a lot of people who are new to triathlon really fixate on, is the swim in the sea, and they just get very worried about that, and people plough up and down in the pool and they're quite happy.
Right.
When it comes to the race, it all falls apart.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just get into the sea and practice, and very quickly you get over that sort of initial caution.
Yeah.
And here is probably the best place anyway you can think of to swim. The water's generally warm. You can see, the fish in there. It's lovely. So I'd say get in there and try it out.
Imagine going swimming in January, February.
They go in November sometimes. I mean, they had an all-female triathlon. I think it was November 12th one year.
November was they had that
She-Rock. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But if anyone's worried, just consider what it's like in Europe or North America.
Oh
Then you
full of beer time. Wow. What are you hoping people see and get a feel for come April 28th?
What are they seeing?
What are they seeing, especially the people looking from the outside in and possibly thinking about coming next year? What are you hoping they get to see out of this first event?
I'm hoping they'll see, obviously it will be a great spectacle, and the crowds will be on the street, and you very rarely get the chance to see the best in the world right there in front of you on the street. There's there's no real space between you. You can just watch them do what they do during the whole race, and just get enthusiasm for that, and also perhaps to not think that triathlon is something that you can't do unless you're really super fit and that you can't try and give it a go, because you can. and hopefully within the 3 years at least that we have it here, that more and more people will see that.
The team relay helps with that too.
Yeah.
The team relay is a great adjustment because
Right.
you're a part of the event without necessarily doing all three.
Right.
And I mean, some people might say it's a bit of a sellout, right?
But
hey,
taking part is
it's a
taking
great
part.
introduction to the sport,
Right.
And then maybe the bug gets you, and you want to do the second discipline and the third.
Yeah, I've seen people start out with a team event, and then say, you know what, let me try a sprint. You know, or let me go down on a Thursday evening and try the try
Well,
and
that's
see
it.
see what
Because,
happens.
if you really want to try the whole triathlon,
Right.
but you're not sure, go to the Thursday night during
Right.
the summer.
Yeah.
Very short swim. You can stand up if you want. So
Yeah.
it's clear water, very shallow water. Very short bike ride, very short run. It's all over in
Right.
25 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if
25
you're
minutes for the winner. I've seen some people still out there after 55. So, but it is right. It's a way to introduce yourself to the sport under different conditions. Although you're in a race, it's not like the top quality race where everyone's there basically just getting a feel for things. So it's a great way to start.
That's right, and they've got a kids race
Yeah.
in that as well.
Yeah.
I've raced with my daughter.
Right.
In that, we've gone round together, and it's totally informal. It's good fun.
Right.
It really doesn't matter if you win or not.
Yeah.
So what your time is, that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Well, as for the race day itself, 27 and 28, Earl mentioned what can we see, but as the athlete, how do they prepare themselves for this big event on this day?
Well, obviously the race is part of the World Series, which is a series of 8 different events around the world, and also on top of that they've got the Commonwealth Games at the beginning of April this year. So they will be focusing on the whole season, picking their times to train up to come to a peak, and then they'll let it back off a bit, and then train again. So they're training pretty much all the year round. They might have a few weeks off, sort of in the off season after the last race in September. But then they'll be starting again to train for the beginning of the season in March.
As for the athlete, they know the course in Bermuda, but they haven't seen it. Would they come like a week in advance, or just a couple of days to take a look at it and prepare for that big event?
I'd expect the race is on Saturday, so I'd expect them all to be here by probably Tuesday, Wednesday at the very latest.
Right.
Then they'll have an opportunity to go around to run on the island, get used to that. There'll be a swim familiarisation on the Friday before the race, so they can check the conditions out in the harbour. And there's also a bike familiarisation on the day before the race, so they'll go round in a slow group together just to get used to the course. I'll do that a couple of times, but they'll be used to doing this all the time, going to different places, and they have their own routines, so they'll know what they're doing.
Looking from your end, how are things shaping up from the business side of the event?
Things are looking very good, and we're really happy to see so much support from the business community. In fact, I'll be speaking with the members of the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow evening. They're having an event, and we're just going to layer the information on with that. And there seems to be so much interest, which obviously is exactly what we want. And we're seeing businesses on Front Street getting in on it and deciding on how they're going to promote their own business in conjunction with knowing that the crowds will be in Hamilton. Of course, there will be road closures, and there will be some what people will call inconveniences. We're going to have to do things a little bit differently on that Saturday. But that was one of the reasons that the racing was really scheduled in for all the races to happen on the one day, to minimize inconvenience. And then, of course, as you know, we also have the age group race starting bright and early in the morning at 7 a.m.
It won't be bright, it will just be morning.
That's, assuming anyone slept the night before. So, yeah, that means that the roads will be cleared for the most part on the outer skirts of Hamilton by midday. So just to minimize inconveniences and to really encourage people to come into Hamilton. Business is open as usual, and even though there will be barricades lining all the streets of the race course, there will be opportunities for pedestrians to cut across the street when it's safe, and we have manned people, managing that during the race time.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
So if people do have questions about how they can get involved, particularly from the business level, the email address would be info@tribermuda, TRIBERMUDA.com.
Cool.
Or for any other questions.
Good stuff. Anything else you'd like to add that we did not ask?
Well, I want to ask one more question. Sorry. Will there be more informational sessions leading up? Because you've had 3 already, but the more information, obviously, as we get going, will there be more in the very near future?
As we get closer to the event, those first 3 were really in January to get this on the people's radar, to mark the calendar. April 28th, roads closed. Just let's plan around it. If you have an important appointment, either reschedule or make sure you know how you're going to get there.
Right.
So that was really the purpose of those information sessions, and to give the general schedule. So tomorrow we'll be releasing information about the whole schedule of the festival weekend.
Right.
So that'll trickle out a little bit more about what people can expect. This isn't just about race day.
Right.
There's a whole lot of fun, free public activities around it.
Okay.
Yeah. So for certain we'll have more information and more sessions coming up as we get closer.
Wow.
And I'd say if it hasn't crossed anyone's radar yet, or they're just not sure about it as an event, it will be fantastic. It will be a huge buzz. And it's going around the world on TV to 160 countries or something like that. So it is a huge thing. So it's, please come out and just enjoy it. And I know people will.
I think the numbers will be out. I recall it watching it back in the 90s. It was at Southampton Princess, St. Anne's Road and all that area around there. There was a lot of people back then, so I expect.
And this course is obviously focused very much on Front Street and Main Street in the centre of Hamilton. So anyone watching will be able to see the bikes come past. 10 laps. And the run, several laps. So
stand at the top
see
of
it all unfold.
And stand at the top of Corkscrew Hill.
I know.
Oh, I love mentioning Corkscrew Hill.
I'm just like envisioning it right now.
Because I'm not racing it.
Riding that, making that tight turn, going up.
By the time the elites go, the road should be nice and dry. It should be, as long as it's not a rainy day, but it should be nice and dry for them, because the morning's going to be torture. You want to see something funny? Go there around 8 o'clock. And watch the age groupers try to climb that.
Yeah.
Because it's due in the road, so the wheels spin a lot. You'll see people actually go down, going up. So then they get off and run. Which is really interesting. I mean, it's all part of the race course. I mean, there ain't nothing you can do about it. You just have to race it. So.
But don't let that put you off.
Oh no! Those I'm telling those out there that love to take photos and love to take videos of people doing sport. That's the place to be. Yeah, be entertaining right there.
Have mercy. Just making that tight turn going up the hill to Corkscrew. Mercy. Better you than me. I'll watch. That's what I do. I'll watch that one.
Part of a team.
Yeah. Next week we'll have you on next week, Vicky. Is there anything you want to add that we did not ask? I'm sorry.
I don't think so. Not from me. Thank you.
You're so cool. You're just like relax. Got all that. Just letting it all go. That's good. That's good. That's why he's in the sport. He knows how to do it.
I guess triathlon makes you a calm person.
Yeah, that's why I'm calm.
Actually, there is one more thing.
Sure.
Part of the thing we do is arrange camps for adults as well as kids, and I'm actually arranging one which starts in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
We're nearly full, but not yet. And if there are any people out there,
I see how he's looking at me like, yeah, I got you. I got you.
I'm looking straight at
So where's your camp?
It's a fun week. It's all over the island.
Okay.
Different spots. We go in the sea for a couple of swims. We go in the pool.
The sea. This is February, bro.
It's good. We have wetsuits.
Yeah.
But if anyone's interested, then perhaps go to the info at WTS and ask about it there. But it's also on Race Day World to sign up. So just go there and have a look.
Sure. Thank you. We will take a commercial break and we'll be back after this. One more guess. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No worries. No worries.
Thanks.
Okay. Good seeing you. Thank you, Vince.
Thank you.
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
That's great. No problem. Good things with me. Right, Ella?
See you later.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right. See ya.
And claims are settled in 5 days, often
Yeah,
without
yeah.
paperwork. Less paperwork cuts errors, delays, and costs.
So more of your premium goes towards generous benefits.
Premier Health. Smart health insurance feels good.
Call Colonial on 296-3200
Or visit CGIgroup.com.
Calling all players. What time is it? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more. Weekly promotions, instant win games. Be a lucky loser with our weekly draw. Become a Game Time player. Call into one of our 3 locations in Somerset, Town, or St. George's. For more details, visit gametime.bm or call 296-3222. Game Time. You play, we pay. Game Time is a socially responsible gaming establishment.
Indian food is popular the world over, and to many of us is simply referred to as curry. If you're a vegan, you have probably had a hard time relating, as the extremely popular alternative to meat eating in India and beyond is lacto-vegetarianism. Mike's Organic Curry Love is a delicious solution offering authentic curry sauces free of animal products and artificial ingredients. We're featuring Mike's Organic Curry Love, 95% organic, red, green, and yellow Thai, Sri Lankan, tikka masala, and Masaman curry sauces. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? Right? Get back.
Yeah, well, yes. Leon, you sit this seat. Well, let the mom sit in the black seat. Let her come straight through.
Same experienced team of travel professionals, same phone number and location.
I'm just observing.
35 Church Street.
How
you doing?
We look forward to being of service to you as you live your travel dreams.
Hi, I'm Bruce Barrett.
How are you, young man?
Beverages.
What is your name?
Joseph.
Joseph, all right. Did you put the headsets on, Joseph?
Welch's Wednesday.
Cool, there you go.
I'll let you know where I am so that you can stop by and get a free Welch's juice and the Wednesday edition of the Royal Gazette. It's Welch's Wednesday. Welch's Wednesday.
You hear it?
Every Wednesday, right here on Power 95.
Is that better?
AccuWeather, the
Is that better for you now?
weather leader.
Cool.
Forecasters and meteorologists who thrive on the new technology that can help you chart your day. From St. George's to Somerset, sunshine to severe weather, with digital Doppler radar, AccuWeather helps you stay on top of your day. Proudly brought to you by BF&M. AccuWeather only on ZBM TV9, where community comes first.
This AccuWeather report is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back. We have our final guest for Inside Sports Talk Radio. He's no stranger, Leo. Leo's last name, I forget.
Richardson.
Leo Richardson. Last time we had you on, you said you wanted to bring some young people in and discuss boxing's future, and you got a young man with you. First of all, before we go there, obviously the passing of Forty Rigo last week must have been a touching thing regarding the fraternity of boxing in Bermuda.
Oh yeah, but he had a good sending.
Oh yeah, he did. I heard it was huge.
Yeah, he had a good sending.
Yeah.
Sending for a giant.
Definitely. Now you're here. You got the young man with you, but you want to talk about the youth programs of boxing. Explain to us where it's at and where you're going forward with this.
Well, the youth program is just starting to grow more and more and more when people see these kids doing these events and see how disciplined they are, sportsmanship, conduct, everything plays a part. You can't be a boxer and you're ignorant in school, or you're not a good student. It ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna have it. Not at my gym anyway. Your parents let me know you're a good student, being good in school, and if you're falling behind them, we encourage you to pick up your game if you want this, and you give them that motivation, and majority of the time they do.
Each sport that we've talked to today is that their focus is on the youth program, and there's no secret in Bermuda because that's where we want to start with the grassroots. Has it been a program where it's going to flourish going forward for boxing, you think, in Bermuda?
Yes, because, well, just out of my gym alone, it's a good program, but I'm trying to encourage other gyms, get more youth involved. The times that these youth are training is essential because they need rest. They got to get in at a good time to eat, do their work, and get sufficient rest for school tomorrow, which is their work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if a boxer, a full-time boxer, that's his job.
Right.
So for him, saying, hey, he got to get rest. If you do this on a part-time and you're boxing and you're competing like this just as much as you got to train hard, you got to rest too.
Right. What is your program like Monday through Saturday with the youth? Are you training them 3 times a week, 4 times a week?
Well, my program's open every day of the week because some kids only can make 2 days. Some kids make 3. Some of them come 4 times. I have it there every day, so it gives them that option.
Oh, I see.
Because some of them just come Monday, Friday. Some of them might come Tuesday, Thursday. Some of them Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like Joseph.
Right.
Because it's not football, Tuesday and Thursday. So majority of them are real busy. So the reason why I had to just pick a specific day because then a lot of people will lose out.
Fair enough.
You know, so
you've made yourself available 7 days a week.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Me, I'm mainly available for my kids. A lot of people want to do the adults. I'm down for the adults, but I don't let that interfere with my kids.
Okay.
So if I'm gonna do my kids between this time and that time, don't look for no Leo time. Whole kids or the youth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You gotta give them that. Because if you want them to be focused, you can't let them training. I mean, they could come in, the adults are trained to see them sparring, and so they can see what they're going to graduate to or whatever. But apart from that, you want them trained with the purrs.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? At times, like, oh, I've been getting over hers, I've been getting over hers, and seeing the adults interact and all that. I've been enjoying it, you know.
Right.
So,
you have a young man with you to your right. Joseph is his name?
Yes.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Why is it that you get involved in boxing since you play football as well?
Really, I don't know. I was just seeing it on TV, and then I was like, that looks wicked, so I'm gonna try that.
And what have you learned thus far?
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah? Are you enjoying the sport? You go 3 times a week?
Yeah, sometimes I go every day. It just depends.
What is it that you like about boxing at his gym, at Leo Richardson's gym?
He spends a lot of time with you, and if you need help, he'll come to you. Like any day.
So which one are you going to choose? Because eventually you're going to be the age of 14, 15, and 16. You're going to say, is it going to be boxing or is it going to be football?
Most likely boxing.
Okay.
Joseph, how has training been for you over the years that you've been doing it?
Good.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Now, how has boxing helped you in school as to concentrate on schoolwork? I'm looking at your mom because I know that's a good question for her.
help me not get in trouble. Like discipline and pay attention.
Yeah. Okay. Are you when you're getting ready for fights? Are you nervous at that time, or do you feel as if you've done enough training to understand what you need to do when you're getting into a boxing fight, not a fight at school?
Both, because sometimes when you're fighting, you can get nervous because you don't know what to expect. But then at the same time, you might train too much and then you think, oh, I'm training too much, and then I take a break.
Leo, when you're looking at some youngsters and you can see how they're progressing, do you feel at times you have to pull back a little bit to allow them to gain what the knowledge you've trying to put out? Because sometimes some kids can want to go too far with it too early.
yes, most definitely. And with me, first and foremost, they know, and I tell them straight, I'm training you guys. You guys are going to be little mini fighting machines. You're not going to be fighting nobody out on the street in school, any neighborhood and none of that, because he been like her. Any of that, before I bang you for a couple of months, or forever, depending on the match, I'm beating you up.
Right.
Yeah, put on them gloves. I want to do 3 rounds. And they know I may not beat them up physically like that, but I burn them over. They can't even lift their hands. They're like, I'm tired. Nobody got 30 seconds left. Let's go deep. You know, and these guys are starting to do rounds beyond their belief. Like, you know, the other day I had one of my youths, Khalil Smith. He done 8 rounds the other day. And 8 rounds, and I'm talking about he done 5 rounds with me.
Right.
And 5 rounds with me. Yes, y'all a kid. I ain't coming at you like I'm coming at an adult, but I'm in your face. I'm getting low like you. I'm making you miss. I'm on you.
Right.
He'll tell you.
Right.
Coach could get low.
Now, this coming weekend is the next generation, right?
Yeah, the next greatest.
Next greatest. It's an opportunity that we'll see some of the youngsters as well.
Majority of the event is the youngsters.
Right. What for those people who only like to go to see professional boxing? What will they see if they take the opportunity to come to see the bridge on Saturday?
How professional boxing start.
Start
Because they're gonna start somewhere. The only way you're gonna keep any sport alive, you gotta get the youths involved. Come on, boxing been dormant for a long time.
Yes, it did.
And they keep for years out all that weight on their shoulders. Now you can look back and say, hey, but I got youths coming up behind me, but let me get involved with these guys, let me keep these guys motivated, and that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a couple of kids that are really interested in it, really good, and parents are getting through those. Look, like, let me talk to your mama, man. And I talk to your mama and say, look, let your mama come. tell her, you know, I help you out in the bang, but keep it honest. And parents are came back and said, look, man, I appreciate everything you've done, man. I take that deal and put it to your program. And because me, if I could have it my way, I wouldn't let the kids charge. I wouldn't charge them anything. But because I have an overhead, rent to pay, electricity, you know, but I try to keep it as low as possible for them, and they love it.
One of the most important questions out there for a sport like yours is, we have so much violence going on with our teenagers wanting to fight each other in schools and so forth. How can boxing help channel some of that and break it up to whereas they go into a structured environment to become better people?
Hey, it done that for me. Like literally, it done that for me at a late age, and like not even at a young age. Like I had already been in trouble. I had already been jailed. And it stopped me from taking that journey further to this journey where I am now. I never, honestly, I'll give you honest, I never saw this coming. I mean, I dreamed about it. Said, yeah, hopefully one day I have my own gym and find my own gym. I'm going to be training animals. And to actually keep doing what I do, because I didn't have a gym, training people out of my boys' backyard, down in Victoria Park, and then get blessed with a gym. That was it. I'm feet on the ground. I'm sprinting. You know, I'm going like that. It's just keeping up with it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm physically, mentally, spiritually, you just got to keep up with it because it's moving real fast right now.
Now, there could be a principal or someone involved in a school that constantly sees middle-aged boys, teenager boys constantly at each other. What would be your message to those people to seek your assistance and maybe somebody else in the boxing fraternity?
Me personally, I know that boxing allows you to get out a lot. Like a lot of people fail to realize hitting something, you ain't necessarily got to hit back for you to get something out of it. Like just hitting something and getting that anger you getting. That's why a lot of these youths are really loving it so much, because they actually got an opportunity to. Hey, sometimes they'll come down there like, Houston, a bear me. Once I hit something, let's do this. I got some clothes, let's do this. Like, would you come at me like I owe you money? And they'll come at me like I owe them money, and in 2 minutes, they'll burn. And they're like, I say, you feel good now? No, get out of my ring. Next. You know? and they love that because it's real, and they feel better, and they see the difference. Like, when other kids on the outside, they see that, they're like, hey, boy, serious? Like, but at first you'd be scared of me because I'm in your face. I'm a boxer, game face, all that. Yeah, what? You want to be a boxer? What makes you want to be a boxer? You think boxing's a game? Well, you can't play boxing. You know, boxing's like sport. You know, and they love it, man. I'm just straight up with them and keep them encouraged, and you know, just keep it real with them.
I've seen you train young kids in the morning, weekdays when they're out of school. Running on Church Street mornings.
Church Street.
Avenue for your gym. This is like 7 o'clock, 7:30 mornings. You know? It's got them gunning, and they enjoying it.
Well, I do work academy. Work academy comes down to and nurses. But in schools, all they do at camp. So the part of my camp is we train for an hour, and the rest of the day is yours. So they have to do something every day. Some of these guys, like when Joseph will come, you know, it's a regular. Like, y'all just go get my workout. And I'll watch you get my workout. I'll be like, whoa. That's what I'll talk about. It's like, that's me.
Joseph, your first time with Coach Richardson in the ring, because he just explained what he does to intimidate. What was that time like for you? Scared you?
Yes.
Yeah? You're over that now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can bring it on and you just take care of him?
Sometimes.
It's honest.
But it's board discipline, which you had mentioned earlier, has helped you in school, correct?
Yes.
And how has it helped you?
Like, I could be talking in class, or like, say, I could be getting in arguments, but then I'll just walk away.
Right. Good man. Good man. Because you think of what you've been through with Coach, and the discipline behind that has helped you be a better person. Wow. And how old are you, by the way?
10.
You got a good future ahead of you, man. You got a good future. How are you going to inspire other young people to get involved in boxing?
Beg your pardon?
How are you going to get other young people to come on board in boxing?
Be a good role model. Spread it.
Spread the word. Yeah. Good, good. Hopefully one day you represent Bermuda in the Commonwealth or Olympics, possibly?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Cool.
Leo, this is probably one of the last times you get to highlight what's coming up on Saturday night. So for those who might not know or will be on the fence whether or not they want to come, sell it.
Okay, it's literally the next greatest, and well, mainly it's more youth fights than whatever here, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. Well, got Andre Lamb's gonna be highlighting it, you know, and all these guys, Andre Lamb, Tyler Christopher, Mikey D. Truth Parsons, just came back from England, and it's gonna be. He said he wants to get back in the ring, so it's an honor, and we're bringing in fighters for these guys because at the caliber that they are, ain't nobody on the island in the, you know, caliber right now. So, and you got heavyweights. We got like four heavyweight fights, you know, and to say the least, we got 8 youth fights, like from the ages of 18 to 10 years old. You know, and it's just like if you all love boxing and you all like to, you know, support the youth and see what the youth are doing for boxing. Come check it out because these are careers that people are going to want to follow. You know, Joseph's one of them. Logan, Possible. You know, Wally, Nataro, Khalil. A lot of names. Tafari, Cameron Outriggers, Zion, you got Nigai from Outriggers, you know, and Sticks from Outriggers. Like, hey, man, you got, you know, and it's nice to know that a lot of gyms starting to get more and more youth because it makes more competitiveness. That's how we're able to pick a youth. We got the adult team. Now we're working on picking a youth. Out of things like this, this is where we pick our youth boxers. Why? Because we really picking the ones that are serious. Win or lose, you just got to be serious. Feel me? And take your wins like a loss, take your losses like a win. That way there you never get disappointed.
That's the one thing I'm hoping out of all this comes when because we always see our youngsters' attitude. When they lose, they don't want to talk to nobody. But when they win, they're all up in somebody's face. And
I mean, hey, you get that, but my guys, they know. They know sportsmanship is the ideal sportsmanship. You lose, you go. If you saw the last fight in May, the guy that he fought, and he won, and they ran, and they actually, I can't believe workers that could caught that picture where they actually hugged each other. And I was like, jeez, that's what they would. I sent that picture around, people was like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Like that picture was on blast for a while because it was awesome. You know, you saw a guy outright lose, take his loss like a man, hug the guy, go to your corner next fight, you know, and they're both from the same gym, so even if they're not from the same gym, I hope that the same thing happens, you know. Sportsmanship's the key, bro.
It is. That's true. And teaching them from a young age.
Oh, yeah, got to. Because sometimes the adults get a little head up there, and they're like, you know what, I feel
take
like
it way too far.
That guy, for that, making me look bad.
Cool. Any final comments, sir?
Well, I like to thank the parents for trusting me with the most valuable assets.
True.
It's an honor, man. It's an honor. They're keeping me well rounded. You know, I ain't got no complaints, bro.
Got you on your toes.
What? Today, I'm like, you never be able to beat me, even if I'm 95.
Sure.
Smile on his face says, "I'm got something for you."
Sure, that's what makes him train. I'm gonna beat coach. I'm gonna beat coach. I gotta make it easy for him. Yeah, they get in the shots and sure I make them miss. You know, keep it real. You know, I just ain't hit no. I ain't gotta hit them hard to train them. No. I'm tapped him. I'm tapped. This man's made his eyes water. I got control. I can't let too much guys spar with my youngsters. That's why I do majority of these sparring with them. Sometimes a guy hit my youngster, they're like, you know what, I'm breaking him and I spar. Yeah.
All right, we wish you all the best on Saturday night.
Yes, man, appreciate it, you guys. And
no worries.
Hope to see you guys there.
Okay. We wish you the best as well, Joseph.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a commercial break and be back after this.
Side Sports Talk Radio has been
Thank you, mommy.
Not a problem. Walk you guys out.
Good stuff, brother. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll return after the break.
All right, kid. Take it easy.
From happy beginnings to happy end.
Protect your life.
All right. See you later.
Insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
60% of claims settled automatically.
Low-cost life insurance.
And individual health cover.
Security in retirement.
With a custodian pension plan.
Happy beginnings and a happy ever after.
Visit cgigroup.com or call 296-3700.
Colonial. More people come first.
Calling all players. What time is it? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more. Weekly promotions, instant win games. Be a lucky loser with our weekly draw. Become a Game Time player. Call into one of our 3 locations in Somerset, Town, or St. George's. For more details, visit gametime.bm or call 296-3222. Game Time. You play, we pay. Game Time is a socially responsible gaming establishment.
Indian food is popular the world over, and to many of us is simply referred to as curry. If you're a vegan, you have probably had a hard time relating, as the extremely popular alternative to meat eating in India and beyond is lacto-vegetarianism. Mike's Organic Curry Love is a delicious solution offering authentic curry sauces free of animal products and artificial ingredients.
Talk about timing, right?
Mike's Organic Curry Love, 95%
open up my
organic,
phone
red, green,
when
and
this
yellow
video
Thai,
comes up.
Sri Lankan, tikka masala, and masaman curry sauces. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
The Bermuda Football Coaches Association is dedicated to increasing the competitiveness of Bermuda football through the use of highly qualified coaches.
But I guess
Join the BFCA at Pier 6 Complex on March 2nd for a speaker's night with Gerard Houllier.
Hello Bermuda, this is Gerard Houllier. Join me at Pier 6 for a 5:30 p.m. kickoff.
Tickets are $75. Help Bermuda coaches become qualified at the highest level. Sponsored by Sampo International, Stoli Vodka, and Excel Catlin.
Bermuda Broadcasting Company is pleased to present Inside Health with Don Bassett and Sarah Bosch-Denoya of the Bermuda Diabetes Association on Power 95 FM. This new 45-minute live and in-depth analysis will provide the latest information on diabetes. In addition, it will feature guests and those sharing testimonials who have been successfully managing their diabetes. Phone lines will be open for your participation. That's Inside Health with Don Bassett and Sarah Bosch-Denoya every first and third Tuesday of the month on Power 95. Brought to you by Lindo's Group of Companies and the Argus Group.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bayston.
Well, it was an extension of 30 minutes today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. There were people were just coming in and booking and coming in on Inside Sports Talk Radio, so I guess that's a good sign. But we'll be back again next week with another edition of Inside Sports Talk Radio. We want to congratulate our usual winner for the trivia question. That question again was, when were the first Commonwealth Games held and in what country? It was 1930, Hamilton, Canada. And the Commonwealth Games again, it's in New Zealand this year?
No, Australia.
Australia. That's in April.
April 4th is the opening ceremony.
And that's over how many days?
To the 19th, I believe.
That's almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Basin, for another edition.
Yeah.
Thank you, Don Bassett.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
As
you,
always.
Not a problem. And we'll be back next week. Take care.